Breaking news coming out today, April 9th, 2025, as we're hearing the Social Security Administration has announced a major change for their phone services. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. Coming out 2 hours ago from Axios, Social Security backs off of cuts to phone services amid outcry. Now, we had heard that starting April 14th, there was going to be some major cuts to phone services available for retirees under certain situations. Well, we're hearing that in the last 24 hours, that has changed. So this is good news for those of you who like to access those phones. Now, take a look. You can see back on March 18th, we had heard Social Security cuts to phone services in a bid to address fraud, because we were hearing there was massive amounts of fraud that was taking place in Social Security. Elon Musk and Doge saying 40% of the calls that came in were fraudsters trying to redirect people's Social Security funds to scammer accounts so they could steal your money. In fact, we had heard Elon Musk say, take a look at this, a little while ago, April 1st, Musk says Social Security scammer. There is one scammer out there that is a part of the Social Security Administration who allegedly ripped off 400,000 Americans, and he is facing an imminent arrest, Elon Musk had said. So they are trying to address this, saying this is a serious issue that is currently facing Social Security. Now, let me go ahead and share with you the actual release that came out in the last 24 hours so you can see it for yourself. This from the Social Security's official X post. Beginning April 14th, Social Security will reform an anti-fraud check on all claims filed over the telephone and flag claims that have fraud risk indicators. Individuals that are flagged would be required to perform in-person ID proofing for the claim to be further processed. Individuals who are not flagged will be able to complete their claim without any in-person requirements. We will continue to conduct 100% ID proofing for all in-person claims. 4.5 million telephone claims a year and 70,000 may be flagged. Telephone remains a viable option to the public. So we had heard that this was going to be going away for a lot of people. Now we're hearing that it is still available for you to access. So Social Security phone lines are available. And again, if you want to know how do I contact Social Security, here is their official phone number, 1-800-772-1213. And before you call, some things to note is that Social Security, it says right here that if you're going to call, let's just say today, you want to call as soon as the lines open up at 8 a.m. because it's a 22-minute wait. If you wait further in the day, take a look. The wait time is over 2 hours. So you want to call in early, so that way you're not waiting that long on hold to try to get a hold of somebody from the Social Security Administration. Now, this is a big reversal. We had heard that those phone services were going to be going away, so this is good news for those of you that like to call in to get information for Social Security. Now, this is amongst several changes that are taking place. I've been giving you guys updates here on the channel. Just to clarify, let's go over some of these very quickly before we dive into the details of this phone reversal for Social Security. Even before this live stream went on, somebody was asking me, what about checks for SSDI? I called my local office. They didn't know what I was talking about. I'm not familiar with that either, but I have been keeping you up to date on the Fairness Act, on also the phone service changes, on a lot of the things that are taking place. Let's walk through these so that way you don't get confused, because I know there's a lot taking place here. So very quickly, there are several Social Security changes that are starting right now in the month of April. Here's a couple of them. We're going to be going through these. I've been covering these in detail for you in separate video. First, millions are expected to receive monthly benefit increases. This is due to the Social Security Fairness Act that was passed. This impacts WEP and GPO. This was signed into law January 5th by President Joe Biden, January 5th of 2025. Now, who does this impact? This impacts about 3.2 million beneficiaries of Social Security, and those are those individuals that were teachers, law enforcement individuals, firefighters, certain government workers that were getting garnished checks, and now they are going to be getting increased payments. And also, they got those retroactive back payment checks for the last year that equated to $6,000, $7,000. Even somebody at my church told me they got a check for $8,000 from the Social Security Administration due to the Fairness Act. So that is what those benefits were. Overpayment recovery rates are going up to 100%. If you missed my video 2 days ago, you're going to check it out. This headline here warning people that you could be getting these letters in the mail. Do not ignore them. Social Security sends millions of warning messages, what they mean and how they affect your benefits. I covered this in detail for you. This is real. This is coming from the Social Security Administration. They are now increasing their recovery rates to 100%. So if you get a letter saying, hey, we were accidentally overpaying you, we're going to garnish it back, they could take a massive amount. It was before limited to just 10%. Now that 10% has increased to 100%. You can see the repayment rule was 10% before. Now it has gone up to 100. So if you were being overpaid, say $500 per check too much, and you were only supposed to get $1,500 and they were giving you $2,000, well, the next check might only be $1,000. They will deduct the full overpayment amount per check until they get that amount back. And what we're going to be covering today, identity verification procedures will become more strict. And one of the things was getting rid of the phone services. We're hearing though that today, in the last 24 hours, Social Security Administration is reversing on that, saying you will still have access to phone services because people need it. It's going to be too much to take away those phone services despite all of the fraud that's going through from the phones on Social Security. So we're going to dive into the details. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, let you know exactly what is going on. And if you appreciate that, do me a favor, take a quick second, hit that like button for me, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And as always, all these articles, everything I'm referencing, it's going to be cited, linked in the description below. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, hyperlink it so that way you can see it for yourself and know and rest assured that this is the latest. And trying to make sure I can keep you up to date with all the things happening with Social Security because there is a lot. And I see somebody asking, can I get more information about the Fairness Act? Yes, actually, there is a hyperlink in the chat right now. As soon as it started, I hyperlinked the Fairness Act directly from the Social Security Administration's website so you can read up on it. You can find out about those increased checks. Millions of people around the nation this month received bumped up checks because of the Fairness Act. However, a lot of people saying, it's not enough. What about everybody else? A lot of people saying we need increased checks across the board. Let me know if you agree. Put yes in the comments. Now, if you think no, let's not do that right now. We've got a solvency issue, a lot of things taking place. And right now we're dealing with tariff battles. If you missed my video yesterday, China and the United States going at it. Put no in the comments. But let me know your thoughts. Drop a like button, subscribe. And let's go ahead and get right to it, though. I'm going to keep you up to speed on everything so you know exactly what is taking place. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to give you an update as to what is going on with the Social Security Administration's phone services. Just coming out 2 hours ago from Axios, Social Security backs off of cuts to phone services amid outcries. Now, this article says, after weeks of confusion and outcry, the Social Security Administration said it is backing off its announced drastic cuts to phone services. Now it says why it matters. The changes would have strained an already backlog agency and possibly even kept eligible Americans from receiving benefits. Telephone remains a viable option to the public, the agency said in a statement, as I read for you just a moment ago. The cuts were slated to begin less than in a week. Instead, the agency said in an email that beginning on April 14th, SSA will allow all claims types to be completed over the telephone. This includes retirement, survivors, and auxiliary spouse or child benefits that SSA previously announced would require in-person identity proofing, in addition to Social Security, disability insurance, Medicare, and SSI. So where it stands, going forward, Social Security will implement some fraud safeguards in phone service, the agency said. If individuals are flagged, then they would be required to visit a field office. So catch up fast. The agency made these changes as a fraud protection measure. Though that claim has been widely disputed, the phone fraud appears to be minimal compared to the volume of benefits paid and the amount of disruption the changes would have caused. SSA has been flooded by calls from recipients and members of Congress are hearing from constituents over fears of what these cuts will do to already lackluster services for Social Security. And as you saw, in some cases, if you wait later on in the day, you could be waiting on hold for over 2 hours. So late Tuesday yesterday, when the agency first announced phone services would remain in a series of posts on X, the AARP welcomed the news. The group represents 38 million older Americans and has been speaking out against the changes, but said it needed more clarity to understand them. So there you have it, you guys. We are hearing that phone services, this is good news for those of you that still want to use those phones to contact Social Security. They are still going to be available and at your disposal. Now, this comes as we had heard before. You saw it all over the headlines that the phone services were going away. It was not going to be available anymore for Social Security for retirees for certain situations. I think it was SSI and disability. You still would have access, but for new claims for retirement going forward on the 14th, you'd have to do in person. That is no longer the case. So this has been flipped. This was one of the big changes that was coming for April. We're now hearing that they have backed off and said, no, allow people to still use the phone services. We still want to make sure we can try to control the fraud, but we're not going to take away phone services for individuals for new claims. And this comes, as I let you know, we are hearing that there have been arrests made already. I shared with you the actual reports that came out from Boston and New York of fraudsters ripping off people's Social Security. And we're still awaiting to see. Elon Musk said that Social Security inside, there is a scammer who has allegedly ripped off 400,000 Americans that's facing an imminent arrest. He said, I believe someone is going to be arrested tomorrow. We are yet to see that arrest unfold, but he said that there is a big one coming. So I will keep you guys up to date on all of this. Now, in addition to that, we're also waiting to see what's going to be happening with Doge, Social Security. Elon Musk said that when they are all done and finished with this, Social Security in the end is going to be getting a huge bump up. There's going to be an increase in pay as a result of pulling back the curtain, cutting all the fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. And he says that he believes that this is going to be helping out all those on Social Security. Now, if you believe it and you agree, drop a 47 in the comments for support for Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Doge, and cleaning up Social Security. Now, if you don't, I've heard a lot of people say that they are skeptical of what's going on with Doge, don't think that it's going to be helping out, feel like it's actually causing problems. Put a 46. Let me know your thoughts. But I've heard a lot of people say they support what is going on right now. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Doge, they believe that this is going to, in the end, help out Social Security. And I see those 47s already starting to pour in. Do me a favor, while you're dropping those 47s, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date, because there is a lot taking place. But that's it, you guys. That is the latest. I will keep you up to speed, but breaking news coming out. Phone services are still going to be available starting April 14th, 2025. Big news for a lot of people that suspected that this was going to be going away with the announcements that we had heard. So this is great. If you are a phone person, you still got that phone available. And again, if you need to call them, here's the number, 1-800-772-1213. And remember, try to call them early, especially this is for today, Wednesday. If you call them Eastern Standard Time, 22-minute wait if you call them as soon as they open, 2-hour and 4-minute wait if you wait till the evening time. So you want to get in early. Try to get a hold of them unless you don't mind waiting for several hours. But a lot of big changes coming for Social Security. And like I said, I'll keep you up to speed on all of them. I'll cite the sources, hyperlinked in the description, put them on the screen, read right from them so that way you can know that this is the latest. You can rest assured and you can see that the updates pouring out. Like I said, this breaking news coming out, this article just in the past 2 hours, reversing everything, and also directly from X, from the Social Security Administration's official X, the announcement you can see coming out yesterday afternoon, evening time, in the last 24 hours, and only less than 200,000 people have seen this, that starting April 14th, there will be anti-fraud checks put in place, but phone services remain a viable option to the public for all types of services. So, like I said, as more comes out, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel so you know exactly what is going on. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.